Good evening to you. Thank you for your company. On December the 15th, 1983, Australia's biggest rock and roll band hit the stage for the final time at the Sydney Entertainment Centre. That band was, of course, Cold Chisel, and 10 years down the track, they're still as popular as ever. The songs still selling and still getting played on the radio. Fortunately for all of us, they documented their farewell tour, which was named The Last Stand. And joining us to watch the movie this evening, Cold Chisel bass player Phil Small, songwriter, keyboard player Don Walker, and online from a remote studio somewhere, Jimmy Barnes, Cold Chisel vocalist. Welcome, gentlemen. Nice to have you with us.
Jimmy, how are you, mate?
Yeah, very well indeed, mate. What are your recollections of that final fling in 1983?
Can't remember any of it. Like most of the years, actually. No, it was a particularly good, good time. It was sort of a mixed emotions, sad and but as usual, we had a great time doing the shows, and I think because they were the last shows, we all sort of poured more into it than normal. Even it was we were all sort of going for it because it was the last chance, literally. Yeah.
Don, whose decision was it to make a film of your finale?
I think everybody was into it because we wanted, once we knew that we were going to break up, we wanted to spend 6 months just getting everything done that we could as far as a film, last album, just anything we could think of.
How was it for you, Phil? Jimmy and Mossy obviously had plans of doing some solo work, and Don had some ideas of his own. What were your thoughts? Were you sad or happy?
Oh, I was fairly sad, yeah. It was,
I think he was glad to get rid of us.
Yeah, it was a step in a completely different direction after that. It was just like...
An emotion-charged evening for all of us. I know I was there standing in the crowd. It was a capacity crowd, and it was pretty emotional for everybody there.
Yeah, they were good gigs, weren't they?
Absolutely. How many farewell shows were there? You sort of milked it dry, really, didn't you?
Yeah, what are you trying to say? I can't remember, actually. I think what did we do in Sydney?
5 shows, I think.
Yeah, 5 Sydney shows.
I think we did 2 first and cancelled and 3 later.
Yeah, I remember we were doing a whole bunch of them, and like every time we did was the last night, so it was like major partying, major, shows and stuff. And by the time we got to Sydney, I think my throat was bleeding, so we had to cancel it for about 6 weeks.
Well, The Last Stand certainly does give us a rare insight into a great Australian band. Anything special you'd like us to look out for or bear in mind when we're watching the show, gents?
No, I just, I haven't seen it for a long time, actually, not since we first did it. And it'd be quite interesting to watch it back. I'll probably be cringing here in the corner. You can sort of have the cringe camera happening if you want.
You need wait no longer. Get ready to cringe, Jimmy.
No.
Here's Cold Chisel with The Last Stand.
Chisel's last gig was arguably their best, and it made a great movie, The Last Stand. Now, for the first time, Cold Chisel's Last Stand goes on record. The original motion picture soundtrack. The Last Stand from Cold Chisel, their greatest songs from their greatest nights.
It's the Super Sunday Price Massacre at Billy Giant's.
Have it, Cold Chisel's The Last Stand, the final Cold Chisel performance, I assume. Was that the last Cold Chisel gig, lads?
Absolutely.
We're not going to see another one?
Oh, we haven't done any since, put it that way.
Are you going to do any again? I have to ask the question.
I don't think so, mate. I think it's been fairly well,
documented,
said in many places across Australia. We're definitely not going to do any more. But we've done enough. The thing was, the good thing about that band was, we were, a good live rock and roll band, and we had our moments, and and to try and get back together, and think you could, recreate something like that is, 10 years down the line is a bit ridiculous, I think, really. If we ever did it, it'd be totally different. It wouldn't be the same band even,
Yeah, well, the last 2 hours certainly bear out your comments there. A remarkable insight into the workings of the band. Don, you've just been with 3/5 of the band, with Mossy and yourself and Jim working on a couple of tracks for Jim's album. How was it? Was there still the chemistry there?
Well, we didn't exactly work like that. I went down and did some writing with Jim mid-last year, and about 6 months later, Ian went into a studio and did some solos. So it's...
But it was good. It was, for me, it was, working with both the guys again was great, You tend to, I know I've listened to Catfish records, and there's great songs and all that sort of stuff. But really, until I started, until I sang one of Don's songs again, Stone Cold off the record is a particularly good song. You forget how great, a songwriter you are, Don, actually, you tricky devil, you. And it was really good to work with Mossy again because, he's just such a great guitar player, It's just, it's incredible, It's still without doubt one of the best I've ever heard, As far as just, great, you know, fluidity and, you know, and soul, you know. It's incredible.
Well, certainly those tracks that you worked
$20
on...
thanks, Tom.
Certainly those tracks are a treat for all us Cold Chisel fans, a bit of nostalgia. Don, we wish you all the best with your future work. You've just done some work with Ian Moss, is that correct? Doing a bit of stuff?
Oh, Ian and I muck around with stuff all the time, but yeah, that's ongoing.
Yeah, good. Good luck with Catfish and all your continued stuff there. Phil, thank you for being with us. I hope you've enjoyed the show.
Yeah,
continued success in the music business. And Jim, of course, on the road. Best of luck with the tour and the new album, Heat, mate. We're all looking forward.
Pal. Yeah.
Very much to that.
It's nice to see the movie again. It was quick, but it was good.
Yeah, thank you. There you go. Cold Chisel, 3/5 of whom joined us for this special feature, The Last Stand. Stick around for MTV. We're taking a look at another great band.
They don't know whether he jumped or fell.